Assalamu alaikum viewers. I hope you all will be fine inshallah. Today our topic is that if someone give you a specific volume, a specific object, and you have to pour concrete over through them. So how much concrete is required for that and what is the procedure for that? So as you know that we should multiply the dry volume with 1.54. So why we should multiply our dry volume with 1.54? So in today's lecture we have to discuss that. If someone give you a cube and this cube has a length 1 meter, width 1 meter and height 1 meter, their volume should be 1 meter cube. If you can make a concrete for that, so you must have to pour concrete of wet volume. It's mean that if you can combine the pest aggregate and water, it's called a wet concrete. And if you can collect only the material just like sand, coarse aggregate, fine aggregate, so we call it dry volume. It's mean that if you can make a concrete of a specific volume, so how much dry volume, how much dry material we should collect that can be appropriate, that can be the exact value, that can be the exactly fulfill the our volume. So this is our topic. So our dry volume should be multiplied by 1.54 in order to deal voids removing and compaction due to water. If we can make a concrete, we can make a pest, so there should be a void in our dry volume, and when we make pest, so these voids should be removed. That's why we are multiplying 1.54 with the dry volume. And due to the compaction factor, because water can compact the material, so if we have to pour concrete through this cube, and this cube volume has 1 meter cube, this is wet volume, and we also required wet volume because we are making concrete and this concrete should be wet, so we required this wet volume for that type for this cube. So wet volume, if we can make wet volume from a dry volume, so how much dry volume we should collect? So we can collect 50 to 54% more that of volume of wet volume. It's mean that we should collect 50 to 54% more dry volume as compared to wet volume. So 34% is increased due to the volume reducing and 20% is increased due to the wastage. So 1 plus 34% plus 20%, so it's make 1.54. so if we are making a concrete, if we should make concrete for a specific volume, we should multiply the dry volume with 1.54 to make its wet volume, and this wet volume is then used for powering concrete. So dry volume is 1 meter cube multiplied by 1.54, this become 1.54 meter cube. It's mean that if we should collect 1.54 meter cube of dry volume for concreting, so this much of volume should be appropriate, this much of volume should be enough for that type of specific volume to occupy it completely.